Happy morning, happy afternoon, and happy evening to all my Nanbas and Nanbis. Today, let's quickly finish Caro 2020, all the 21 classes in just 10 minutes, guys. Quickly, let's revise together all the 21 classes. Before I get into the classes, one thing I want to tell you, Caro questions will be like, they will give you a case study where you will have to analyze and tell as to how you will report, under which clause will you report. So you will have to find the clause number. So I want you to start off the answer this way. Clause number of para 3 of the company's auditor's report order 2020. This should be your first sentence in the answer, and then you go to the 21 clauses. Is that clear, guys? Because when you write this, they understand, the examiner basically understands, okay, you have understood the subject. Let me give 1 mark for just identifying the clause, but this is the way you have to write. Now going ahead to the 21 clauses. Clause number 1 is fixed assets. Fixed assets, you will have to talk about tangible and intangible asset. For tangible assets, the records that they are maintaining with respect to the details of the fixed assets and the situation, where is it situated, that also you will have to tell. For intangible, of course, there is no situation, so only the details. Physical verification of fixed assets has to be done at reasonable intervals, and if there is any material discrepancy, that has to be reported under CARO. Who is the owner of that fixed asset? The real owner who is holding the title deeds of these immovable property. There is a format which is given. What is the description of the property? What is the carrying value? Whose name is it held? Whether that person is a promoter, director, relative or employee. What is the period for which it is held, and why is it not being held in the name of the company? Please give me the reason for the same. That is for title deeds of immovable property, and the format is given. Fixed assets can be revalued if the revaluation change, whether it has increased or reduced. If the change is more than or equal to 10%, then that also has to be shown separately. If there is any proceedings which is pending under the Benami Transactions Prohibition Act, please show that separately under clause number 1, fixed assets. Clear? Now I am moving ahead to clause number 2, that is inventory. Inventory, whenever I say inventory, the first thing that has to come to your mind is physical verification of inventory. Now when you do the physical verification of inventory, the management has to do it at reasonable intervals. So the auditor will be seeing whether it is conducted at reasonable intervals. And if there is any discrepancy, the percentage is again 10%. Discrepancy of 10% of more. For each class of inventory, if it is there, you will have to show that separately. In any point in time, if this company has gotten a working capital loan of more than 5 crore rupees, then the quarterly returns and statement which is filed with the banker has to be equal to the books of accounts that the company is maintaining. If it is not, please give details. These are the 2 points for inventory. The third clause is LIGS provided, loans, investments, guarantees, securities. The loans, investments, guarantees, securities can be given to subsidiary joint venture associates or other than subsidiary joint venture associate. Please mention the aggregate amount during the year for the balance outstanding for loans, advances, guarantees, securities given to subsidiary joint venture associates. Here it is other than subsidiary joint venture associates. Any loan which is given should not be prejudicial to the interest of the company. That means any loan which is given has to have a repayment schedule. When will I get that loan back? You please tell me. That is a third point. Should have a repayment schedule. If there is any amount which is overdue for more than 90 days, then please show that under CARO. If any loan has been renewed or extended or fresh loan has been taken, or any loan where it is on demand loan, that means they're giving a loan. Whenever I want it, that time I will ask it back. Like a friend I'm giving loan, that is on demand loan. In that case, please mention the aggregate amount to the percentage of total loan. This is with respect to LIGS. The next one is LIGS provided section 185, 186. Whenever section number is given here, that's all is there in the clause itself. So, clause number 5 is deposits, section 73 to 76. Cost record, section 148 subsection 1, whether the cost records are maintained as per section 148 subsection 1 of the Companies Act and whether such accounts has been so made and maintained. That's it. Clause number 7, statutory dues. They're talking about disputed statutory dues and undisputed statutory dues. Whenever there is a dispute, that is a fight going on where I've given the tax but the government is not accepting this much, they want more money, then please mention what is the amount involved and in which forum the dispute is pending. That also you have to mention, that is disputed statutory dues. Undisputed undisputed statutory dues with respect to GST, PF, employee state insurance, customs, excise duty, if it is arrears of outstanding statutory dues on the last day of financial year is more than 6 months from the date they actually become payable, then you have to show that as undisputed statutory due. Undisclosed income. Previous years I kept it as undisclosed. Current year I surrendered. Current year I disclosed as income. Then please mention under clause number 8. Clause number 9 is talking about repaying the loan. If the company has defaulted in repaying the loan, then you have to follow this format. What is the nature of borrowing? Who is the lender? Amount not paid. What is that amount? Whether it is principal amount or whether it is an interest amount. What is the number of days of delay and any remarks, if any? That is the first one. Company defaulted. If this company has money but still not giving money, that means they are a willful defaulter. Whether the company is declared as willful defaulter, you will have to mention. Whether the term loan that the company has bought, they would have told some purpose. For that purpose only, whether they have used or any amount is diverted, please mention that amount and the purpose for which it is diverted for. You told the banker that it is for short-term loan but used for long-term purposes, then you have to mention under CARO clause number 9 with respect to the amount and the nature of the loan. You took fund but not for yourself to meet the obligation of subsidiary joint venture associate, then you please mention the amount and the nature of the loan. Now the ulta is also possible. You raised money keeping the pledge of the shares of the subsidiary joint venture associates, then you have to mention the details and the if there is any amount defaulted, that also you have to mention. This is clause number 9. Clause number 10 is issue proceeds, again section 42 and 62 whether it has been complied with. Clause number 11 is fraud by the company or fraud on the company, that is also covered. Section number 143 subsection 12 has to be complied with and form ADT 4 has to be filed prescribed under rule 13 of the company's audit and auditors rules. Now what is 143 subsection 12? If the amount of fraud involved is less than 1 crore, then auditor will tell the audit committee and board of directors. If the amount of fraud is more than or equal to 1 crore, then the auditor will tell the central government inform ADT 4. This is clause number 11. Clause 12, there is some ratio. 1:20. What is that? Net own funds is to deposits should be in the ratio of 1:20. Then only they'll be able to meet out the liability. Whether Nidhi company is maintaining 10% unencumbered term deposits and whether there is any default in the payment of interest, that also details has to be given. Clause number 13 is related party transaction, section 177 and 188 has been complied with. Clause number 14 is internal audit. When you see the internal audit size should be commensurate with the size and nature of the business. An internal auditor will give a report. Whether that report has been considered by the statutory auditor, please mention under CARO clause 14. Clause 15 is non-cash transaction, section number 192, whether it has been complied with. Clause number 16 is RBI registration, whether this company is required to be registered under section 45 IA of the RBI Act. If this company has taken any banking, financial or housing financial activities without valid certification, you will have to mention. Whether this company is a CIC, that is core investment company, then if so, whether it has fulfilled all the criteria, we will have to see. If the group itself has a CIC, then indicate the number of CICs which are part of the group. Cash losses, whether the company has incurred cash losses in this financial year or immediately preceding financial year, state the amount of the cash losses. If there is any resignation of statutory auditor, that is clause number 18, then we have to see when they resigned, did they have any issue, objection, concerns raised by them, whether as a statutory auditor I have taken into consideration these three things by the resigned auditor, we will have to see. Clause number 19 is going concern on the basis of financial ratio, aging, expected date of realization. We will have to see whether no material uncertainty exists as on the date of audit report. Clause number 20 is CSR. For CSR, we have ongoing project and other than ongoing project. Ongoing project, if there is any amount which is unspent and the project is ongoing, then it has to be transferred to a special account under section 135 subsection 6. Other than ongoing project, that means whether in respect of other than ongoing project, company has to transfer the unspent amount to a fund within a period of 6 months to the expiry of financial year, and this is given in section 135 subsection 5. Ongoing means 135 subsection 6. The last clause, that is 21, that is whether there is any qualification or adverse remark in the consolidated financial statements, then just to mention the para number of that CARO report, that is more than sufficient. These are the 21 clauses we've also got inside and we have seen everything. Quickly we'll see the applicability also. Basically, what you have to remember is Caro is applicable for big companies. For small companies, it is not applicable. This you first have in mind. And it is applicable for all companies. Even foreign companies, it is applicable, except banking company, Caro not applicable. Insurance company, Caro not applicable. Section 8 company, Caro not applicable. 1% company, small company, Caro not applicable. Obviously, 1% company, small company, not applicable. If it is a private limited company, they are giving limits as to what is a small company. Again, for a private limited company, this private limited company should not be held by a public company, or subsidiary also should not be a public company, because public company are big companies. So there should not be public company in the vicinity of that private limited company. And this private limited company must have paid up share capital and reserves and surplus less than or equal to 1 crore. Borrowings less than or equal to 1 crore at any point in time. Revenue less than or equal to 10 crores, including revenue from discontinuing operations. Then you will say it is a small company, so Caro is not applicable. Are you able to understand? That means if it is more, Caro automatically becomes applicable. As simple as that with applicability. Now, how are you going to remember the 21 clauses? You understood what you have to write inside each of the clauses. Now, how will I know clause number 11 is Nidhi company? Clause number 12 is what? Like that, how will you remember? Listen to this small story. Yes, guys, and did I say clause number 11 wrong? Clause number 11 is fraud. Clause number 12 is Nidhi company. I'll just tell you the story as to how you will remember the 21 clauses. Say there is a very worst fellow. He went and he purchased a land. Now, in that land, can he keep it empty? He has to put the stock inside the land. Now, how he is getting the money for the stock? He is getting loans for the money for the stock. Now, after getting loan, he doesn't have any intention to repay the loan and all. He is not giving the creditor who has given the stock. He is putting that money into deposits and is maintaining proper cost records for him not to get caught. But when he is actually paying the statutory dues, the government is asking him, hello, there is lots of undisclosed income. What are you going to do? I know that you took a loan and you do not repay. Now immediately the government is asking him to repay the loan. I told you he is a very worst fellow. He doesn't have any intention to repay the loan and all. So he took money from public by way of issue proceeds, IPO, FPO, and he repaid the loan. Agamatho, whatever he did is fraud work only. After this, there is a interval. Till now, what happened? Fixed assets. Inside the fixed assets, he kept the inventory. How he got the inventory? By way of legs provided. For legs provided, there are two clauses, third clause and fourth clause. The fourth clause is legs provided as per section 185, 186. That's it. Next, what did he do with the loan money? He put it as deposit, section 73 to 76. How did he maintain the records? Cost records properly, section 148, subsection 1. Then he got caught when he is paying the taxes to the government, that is statutory dues. Under that, we have disputed statutory dues and undisputed statutory dues. You guys already know what is inside that. Next is, the government is asking, hello, there is a lot of undisclosed income and they're asking him to repay the loan. That is clause number 9. Clause number 10 is what? How is he repaying the loan? By way of issue proceeds by way of IPO and FPO, section 42 and 62. In the end, whatever he is doing is fraud work only, section 143, subsection 12. With this, there is an interval break. Now, he comes back from the jail. He is put into the jail. After the interval, he comes back from the jail. He is forming a Nidhi company. Is he a transformed person? No, first itself I told you, the very worst person. He comes back from jail and he forms a Nidhi company. With whom? With mother, father, brother, sister, wife, everyone. That is related party transaction, section 177, 188. Again, is getting caught when the internal auditor comes. The internal auditor is finding three different things. There are lots of non-cash transactions. RBI registration is supposed to get, but he did not get. There is lot of cash losses. There are three things that internal auditor is finding. That is only clause 15, 16 and 17. Looking at all of these things, statutory auditor is getting worried and he is resigning the office. Resignation of statutory auditor, that is clause number 18. Then he finds out that the going concern itself is going to get affected for him. Now he is a changed person. He thought, okay, I will do good for the society. CSR activities, section 135 subsection 5 and 135 subsection 6. And finally he is seeing, okay, I'm giving for the society. This is for myself, a consolidation of all the money, that is CFS clause number 21. Is that clear? Yes. Clause number 1 is fixed assets, 2 is inventory, 3 is leaks provided, 4 is leaks provided as per section 185, 186, 5 is deposits as per section 73, 76, 6 cost accounts 148 subsection 1. Try to tell it with me without seeing. Clause number 7 is statutory dues. How is it split? Disputed statutory dues and undisputed statutory dues. Clause number 8, undisclosed income. Clause number 9, repayment of loan. 10, issue proceeds by way of IPO, FPO, section 42 and 62. Clause number 11 is fraud, section 143, subsection 12. Clause number 12 is Nidhi company. Clause number 13 is related party transaction, section 177, 188. Clause number 14 is internal audit. What are the three things they're finding is 15, 16, 17. Non-cash transaction, RBI registration, and lots of cash losses. Looking at this, clause number 18, resignation of statutory auditor, and 19, going concern. 20, changed person CSR, and 21 is consolidated financial statements. Clear? Very, very clear with the 21 clauses. We actually went through quickly all the 21 clauses, saw applicability also. I also told you how to write presentation, and I've also given you how you can remember all the 21 clauses. Yes, guys, that's it. Caro itself is over in just a matter of 10 minutes. All the very best. If it comes in the exam, you are going to get full 5 marks. All the best, guys.